Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
There can be only one.
Let yourself feel the stack. Talk.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Yes.
No.
Oh my God, everybody. Welcome to Princes of the Universe, the only Highlander podcast.
The first and only.
The first and only. My name is David Bell.
There can be only one Highlander podcast.
It's true.
We killed all of the other ones and
It's true.
absorbed them. I'm Tom Ryman.
It's true. Guys, big shout out to James Rainey. James Rainey is the Patreon. Yeah, he's a listener, Patreon subscriber who produced this podcast and went to us and said, "Hey, watch all the Highlanders. There are 5 Highlanders total, and then 1 animated film, making 6 Highlanders, and therefore 6 podcasts. And we're on number 4, otherwise known as Highlander 4 Endgame."
Yes.
We have a few sections of this podcast. We have Whatlander, which is we describe the film because, let's all face it, you haven't seen this film, probably.
No.
Highlander, which is kind of just a bunch of questions and picking apart the actual story of the film. And finally, we have Highlander, which is just how the movie was done. Just talking about behind the scenes.
Did all of this come together?
How did this happen? This is this series. I have some thoughts about the series as a whole at this point, Tom.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to talk about it at the top of this, but I'm gonna right now.
Okay. Sure.
Do you know what this is reminding me of?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's reminding me of the Terminator series,
Uh-huh.
where they've made a bunch of films. They keep making these like do-over films where they try to smooth out the continuity or change it. And now this was made in 2000, but now almost 20 years later, people like us are going to be watching it without the context, and therefore these movies are nonsense.
Well, this one in particular, because it's a continuation of not only the movies, but also the TV show.
Yes. And they're very much like they're apparently reviews said this movie was nonsense at the time too. But they're still, they're chained to the time in which they were made, where it feels like you need to have some producer going into an interview and explaining to you what you're about to see in order for any of it to make sense. Because there are characters in this that I'm like, who the hell are these guys?
Yeah, and they're like they'll be like from the series.
Yeah. The main character, I've already forgot his name. The other McLeod.
Duncan,
thank you, Duncan McLeod. He's from the series.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and this was an attempt to tie the series to the franchise, I guess.
Well, the series had already ended at this point, but yes, it was trying to. This was sort of like the Star Trek Generations of Highlander.
Okay, that checks out. And yeah, the Star Trek films, I guess you could argue, are also like that. If you just watch the Star Trek films, you're going to be pretty confused.
Yeah, if you're just
Not
going
as
into
confused.
it. Yeah, just going into it cold. Yeah.
This is a weird series, so I guess we could get into
this. The series is Banana Sandwich.
How did you like this film?
Honestly, I didn't hate it.
Same here.
I was like halfway through this movie, I was like, am I gonna have to watch this TV show?
Yeah,
Because I'll say it up front. Duncan fully rules.
Yeah, I like Duncan. I like this movie a lot. I liked the story. Christopher Lambert said in an interview this is the closest to the first movie in his opinion, and I agree. It felt more emotional.
Right, the story was there are confusing parts, but like the story wasn't half bad.
No, it wasn't. It was it's we'll get into the making of, but there's all Highlanders, the production had problems.
Yeah.
And so there you see it right away. There's 6 editors credited. Oof. And it was like, oh, not a good sign. Not a good sign. So yeah, there's some problems, but it's the first one where I'm like, I like these characters.
Yeah, it was the first one since the first film where I was like actually invested in the story.
Yeah. And then I texted you about this. The moment Donnie Yen shows up, I was like, oh, we got a movie now.
Yeah, and that's one of the cooler things about bringing Duncan MacLeod into the movie is that the sword fighting immediately improves because he's actually a martial artist. Yeah,
that's the other big thing is it's funny it took them 4 films to realize sword fights. Martial arts. Let's make these martial arts films.
So yeah, like when he fights with Donnie Yen, it's fucking sweet.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Donnie Yen, the moment he showed up, they do a fake out where you think he's died, and I was just like, no, you can't kill off Donnie Yen that quickly.
Well, he was like 4th credited too, so it's like, well, he's going to be in it longer than this.
Yeah. I was delighted because I missed his name in the credits.
Oh, okay.
So he shows up and he kicks a shield or a mask at a guy, and I was just like, Donnie Yen!
Yep.
Like, oh,
good hit, man.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we got Bruce Payne in there.
Yeah, fucking Bruce Payne.
Yeah, there's a lot to love in this movie.
Being all Bruce Payne-y.
Yeah, like I can't say in terms of narrative and structure, I can't say this is a good film. But
it's not.
The problems with it are like production issues.
Right. It's almost all technical. The problems.
The film itself, it's a lot of fun. I guess we should get into Whatlander and tell people what the film is actually about.
What the hell the movie's about? Yeah. So it flashes back again to Connor. In the Highlands, he's already been. So this is like kind of like the events are happening sort of concurrent with what happens in the first Highlander. Yeah,
like every Highlander movie, they fill it with flashbacks, kind of changing the past.
A little, not entirely.
Not entirely.
Like this one could they don't do anything in this movie that negates what happens in the first film.
No, the only thing is the presence of Duncan, where it's like he's like an old friend that's also
a clanmate.
Yeah, and it's like, where the hell have you been? And this is another thing I want to say at the top of this. Everybody is an immortal now.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that must be from the show. That must be like left over from the show where they,
something happened. Because there's like immortals run into each other in this.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, you're immortal. Yeah, I'm immortal too. Like, it's bananas.
Mm-hmm. So it's Connor's already living in exile with his wife, and these people keep showing up to fuck with them, and he's like, I gotta go. They're like threatening to kill his mother, who's still back in the village. So he goes to get her back, and she gets taken by this priestly dickhead who burns her at the stake.
He also explodes her.
He does, yes. Like you have the priest douchebag, and then you have Bruce Payne, who plays Jacob, who is apparently used to be friends with Connor.
Yeah, apparently.
So he feels a little bad about it. And so he gives Connor's mother a little bag of black powder to wear around her neck, and he says this will make it less suffering. Yeah, this will ease your suffering. Yeah. It's basically handing somebody a grenade.
Yeah, and I guess they're right.
Yes, he's not wrong.
There's also an opening crawl. I have it written down. If it just explains.
Yeah,
it's just in the days before memory, there were immortals. Days before memory. We were with you then, and we are with you now. We are driven by the endless fight to survive in a game which knows no limit of time or place. We are the seeds of legend, but our true origins are unknown. We simply are. Fair enough, film.
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel like every film should have begun with this crawl.
I think maybe they just hadn't nailed that. Like, I think that's kind of the conceit in the first one is Sean Connery says something to the same effect, but then they come up with all that alien bullshit in the second one.
Yeah,
yeah. Or whatever. So he kills the priest, which enrages Bruce Payne, and then he kills Bruce Payne, but it turns out Bruce Payne's an immortal, so Bruce Payne spends the next several hundred years rounding up a posse.
Again, Bruce Payne, immortal by coincidence.
Yeah, by utter coincidence.
And then Duncan has a romantic. Duncan and Connor are friends, and one day on the road they stop these like highwaymen.
One of whom is WWE superstar Edge.
It sure is. So fucking weird. And so they fend off the highwaymen, and he falls in love with the woman in the carriage, which also is an immortal. Because again, everybody's just immortals.
Sure.
Like more people are. It feels like there are more immortals than there are regular people in this film.
It kind of does, yeah. Like the non-immortals have to have like a special little tattoo. Yeah. To be like, we're watchers.
Yeah, the watchers. I have questions about them, but
well, and like in the beginning when Donnie Yen and the rest of Bruce Payne's guys attack the sanctuary, like one of the guards says, "Cut their heads off. They might be immortal." So right. Like, that's how common immortals are.
Yeah, they're like vampires in this universe now.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Shit. I feel like we script around.
Well, I mean, it's Bruce Payne he's looking to basically kill everyone in the planet until it's just him and Connor left, because he wants to continue punishing Connor for like all of time.
Right. It's a cool plan.
Yeah, he's killed so many people that he's just like impossibly powerful.
Right. And Connor and Duncan basically team up to try to kill him, and big spoilers. Mm-hmm. Connor makes Duncan kill him.
Yes.
So he can have his Highlander powers, his immortal powers. Mm-hmm. Death of fucking Connor McLeod, which I don't think is permanent, because there is another movie, and I believe Christopher Lambert is in that movie.
He might have
be
like
flashbacks.
He might be in flashbacks, but it's Duncan is the main character of the next movie.
Okay. Yeah, it's a passing of the torch. He is the Sean Connery of this one, essentially. Mm-hmm. And he teaches Duncan, how to be an awesome immortal. He makes Duncan kill him, and then Duncan kills Bruce Payne. Mm-hmm. And he's the one.
He kills the bejeebers out of some Bruce Payne. Right.
But not before Bruce Payne kills all his people, including Kate, who was, I think, Faith was her name. Yeah,
Faith was her new vampire name. She was Duncan's wife, and that like in a very interesting immortal subplot. Yeah.
Yes. They have a fuck scene because it's a Highlander film. Uh-huh. And they all have to have fuck scenes. And then at the end, did you watch the producer's cut? I assume you watched whatever was on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. No, I watched whatever was on the DVD.
Oh. Did she come back at the end?
She did not.
Ooh, Tom, we watched two different cuts of this movie.
Yeah. No, I didn't see that cut.
On Amazon, it's the producer's cut. The producer's cut, what was the fate of Donnie Yen?
He gets killed off screen.
Okay, I think that sort of happens in this. Does he try to fight him?
He stands up and pulls out his sword at their little Last Supper scene, and then it cuts away to a shot of Bruce Payne, who just swings his swords towards the camera, and we hear like a chop sound, and then we don't see Donnie Yen again. Was there a previous scene where Donnie Yen suspects Bruce Payne? Yes. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what's different, because I know there's a cut where Donnie Yen actually decapitates himself, so to not allow Bruce Payne his powers. That makes more sense, because he's like a fucking badass, and there's a scene where like when they first attack Duncan in the building, Duncan sees him and he recognizes him and he says, "I've heard you're a man of honor."
Right.
And then that scene that you just mentioned where he's talking to Kate and it's like, this is only going to go for so long. Pretty soon he's not going to need us anymore.
Yeah.
So it seems weird to get Donnie Yen for that part and highlight his character in those ways and then have him get killed off screen.
Well, once we get into the Highlander, I have some details about Donnie Yen's involvement in this film. It's very interesting.
But the idea of him decapitating himself so that Bruce Payne doesn't get the kill and the quickening makes sense to me for that character. Like that seems like that should have been in the
makes way more sense. In my version, at the end, because you have the scene where he's in front of like the fireworks or whatever, and he's walking away.
No,
maybe that scene isn't even in there. At the end. He's inside this weird building with like, I don't know if they're fireworks actually. There's like some event happening, and he walks away and he walks down, and I think he walks by the word faith.
Oh, that's at the fashion show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a fashion show. So you had that scene?
Well, I had that earlier scene. Like when he first goes to meet her at the fashion show.
Okay, there's another scene where he goes to the fashion show at the end. He walks away, he looks at these stairs, and she walks down the stairs. And then they approach, and I thought, like, is she a ghost? But no, she's alive. He tries to give her his necklace, and she says, like, no, there's plenty of time for that. Whatever their forever thing they say while boning.
When I forget, it's like something about meeting again.
Yeah, it's whatever. And then they kiss, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy." Because you got the sad version, I got the happier version.
I did get that. My version ends with him burying Connor next to his first wife in the Highlands.
Wow. Yeah,
it's just like a very somber ending.
Yeah, that is they use footage from the I believe the original film when he dies.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. You had to experience that version.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, the producer's cut, which I guess is the one that's more... Do they refer to Sanctuary as holy ground in your version?
Yes.
Yeah, they cut that out because apparently fans didn't like that for some reason. I forget why.
It's because it's against the Highlander rules.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You remember in the last one when Mario Van Peebles attacks Connor in a church, like shit like starts exploding and stuff.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so I think the version I saw was the version more regularly accepted. These Highlanders, man, there's a million versions of them.
I know, it's bonkers.
Yeah.
Why can't they just get it right the first time?
Yeah.
Why do they always run out of money?
I don't know. I guess this brings us into Highlander, right?
Yeah, I guess you were going to ask me one more question.
Well, this is kind of related to Highlander. Did you have a scene at the beginning where they meet in New York, Duncan and Lambert and Connor, and he's like, "Why did you agree to meet me here?" Or where is there a scene where he tells him to watch his back, Lambert?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow. Okay. So in my version, and it's really weird, Lambert gives a super Shatner performance. They meet in New York, and Duncan's like, "You wanted to meet me?" And he's like, "I have to go." And he's like, "But you just said you wanted to meet me." And he's like, "We'll have dinner later." And he's like, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's nothing." And it was like, what the fuck? And then there's the surrogate daughter.
Yeah. Mine just starts with her going to the antique shop looking for him, and he's walking up to the building, and then Bruce Payne walks out of the building, and then the building explodes.
Does that not involve a telephone call?
It does.
Okay. Is she watching old, grainy film footage?
No, she's just looking at a ransacked antique shop.
Wow. We watched two different movies. In my movie, the daughter goes into... Yeah, she goes looking for Connor in his apartment. Mm-hmm. And there's a old grainy... There's on the TV, there's like old film footage which has sound for some reason of their like past, of like him at her graduation and shit. Mm-hmm. And then the phone rings and she answers it and it explodes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
We probably should have coordinated this better.
I don't know. I like this. I like that we watched two different versions because I think most of the other things are the same. From what I read, there were like a couple parts. Was the castle in your movie?
What?
Did you notice the castle from Monty Python?
There was a castle.
Yeah, that's the castle
Okay.
from Holy Grail. At the end?
Cool.
It totally was. That is cool.
I believe you.
All right.
I only saw it. I don't know. There was just like a castle and like some random flyby footage. They didn't spend a lot of time at it.
I got excited. Did his mom call him a water horse?
Yes.
Okay, that was weird.
I think it's a Scottish thing.
What's a water horse?
Like Nessie.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a great term.
Sure.
Yeah.
We should probably get into Whatlander. Or no, Wylander.
Wylander. I feel like we're in Wylander.
Wylander. Why is Bruce Payne balding?
That's a good question.
Why is he a balding immortal? It's a fascinating question to me.
There's a lot of,
And Lambert is looking kind of old.
Lambert looks like he's turning into that Vigo painting from Ghostbusters.
He does. His hair is so bad in this movie.
Well, that's the thing. He's not a bad looking guy. In Ghost Rider 2, Spirit of Vengeance, he looks good. In this specific movie, in certain shots, it's like they didn't light him well or something.
Yeah, I don't know what
it looks like. He's melting.
Yeah, and I can't tell if it's because they put makeup on him. Like, I think his hair is that hair so that he could be doubled better. Because
because he definitely had a double.
It's such a bad haircut, and it's bad for 2000 too.
Yeah.
Like it's not of the time.
Yeah, man,
it's very baffling. So
Highlanders in their hair.
Yeah. But it like, so when he fights Duncan on the rooftop, like it's shot in a way where you're seeing Duncan, doing all his cool sword stuff, and you're like, and you can see that it's him, and then like Lambert's very obvious double has his back to you, and I'm like, oh, that's why his hair looks like that.
Yeah.
To hide his
big
face.
Stupid hair. Yeah.
To hide his face. Also, in the highwayman scene when Connor and Duncan stop the highwayman and they meet Kate, Lambert's wig in that scene is so bad. Did you notice how bad it was?
No.
It's like he's wearing like an old timey like long curly haired wig, but like the front of it was like mopped down.
Yes, I did notice that. There was something real wrong there. That was a weird phase in their Highlander immortal lives.
He had like chunky bangs on this like frilly 17th century wig.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
Man, they just kept swapping wigs for him.
Oh, yeah. They couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah. When he's watching his mom get blown up, first of all, I feel like he must be, after that scene, he probably gets regularly charged with black magic once every, 70 years.
Depending on where in the world he is, yeah.
Yeah, he probably moves around a lot. He rips off the metal bar of the prison. Does he chop off a man's hand with that bar?
He chops off the man's hand with a sword.
Okay. So he grabbed the sword from the guy he impales with the bar.
He sure does.
Either way, it's fucking brutal.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And then I like Bruce Payne's death. He just literally runs into Connor's sword.
Yeah, he does.
He's the sheriff of Rottingham in fucking Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Like he really fucks the dog on that one.
Yeah, he just kills himself.
Yeah.
What a stupid dick.
What a stupid dick this Bruce Payne is in this one.
He sure is.
And yeah, why is he balding? I guess the idea is immortals do go bald. It just takes like thousands of years.
Is that the idea?
Either that or he's purposefully making his hair look like that so people won't suspect him.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah. I think the obvious answer is Bruce Payne's balding.
Well, I know, but it's in the context of him supposedly being an immortal. That's where the question comes from.
It's pretty funny.
It's very funny.
Yeah. I love...
It's like a balding vampire. It's like, what's the point?
Right. Because there are bald, there's like the Nosferatu vampires. But
right,
you don't,
where he's like
you
a
can't
rat
picture
man.
like... Yeah, you can't picture like in between.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist. It's one or the other.
Like is fucking Steven Dorff from Blade? Is Deacon Frost gonna start losing his hair?
Apparently. Turn into like a weird ghoul.
Yeah. Turn into that weird giant mojo vampire that they burn with the UV gun. Gross.
Oh man. I have less questions and more like so the Sanctuary was very strange. I figured it out eventually, but like they put him in this like Vitruvian Man coma.
Yes.
On these like it's like Lawnmower Man style like
they're all
harnesses.
Like, they're all like incepting each other.
Yeah, in monk outfits, which seeing a gunfight in a like when they're shooting guns dressed as monks is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
But then like Duncan later goes into it. He gets kidnapped. He gets hucked on rebar and kidnapped. Mm-hmm. And then he gets in the weird, like the coma, the Sanctuary. And the idea is it's okay. This whole subplot was what I was most fuzzy on. Okay. The idea is they're putting immortals in these comas and hiding them so that there can't be a prize.
Right, so nobody can claim the prize.
Who's doing that?
This order of humans, the Watchers.
Okay. So they're unrelated to the main bad guy, to Bruce Payne.
Correct. And
that's what was so weird is I feel like this is a TV show thing.
It must be from the TV show because like the two guys that rescue Duncan are from the TV show. And
then one of them like shoots the other, right?
No.
Who shoots the guy and says Merry Christmas?
I didn't see that.
Oh, gee. God damn it.
That scene is not in the version I watched.
All right. Well, it must not have been that important. There
was a younger guy and then an old guy with a beard that come and rescue him.
Okay. Yeah, and they keep. Did you have the scene where they keep track of all the quickenings?
Mm-hmm.
How do they do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, because
like in Magic.
They don't self-report their quickenings, right? The Highlanders?
Nope. I assume not.
And they say, like, this person has, like, 600 confirmed quickenings.
Yeah, that's Bruce Payne. Bruce Payne has 661.
How do they know that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess they must have instruments that can measure that.
Right, so they have to know, because they know where how many Duncans had. So they must... Because they have to have followed them around, right? Because even if they have instruments, they have to know who's causing each quickening to happen. They can't just be finding beheaded bodies because they don't know who's...
Well, your quickening goes into the person that killed you. So I guess all they have to do is come up with an instrument that can measure all of the immortal juice that's lightning around inside your body.
It's like midichlorians.
Sure, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, but then at some point they would have had to test their bodies for it. Or I guess they could scan them.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they sneak in at night where the Highlanders are sleeping and steal their urine.
Yeah.
Steal their dukes, steal their BMs.
Yeah, probably steal their little dukes.
Steal
their little mortal dukes.
Their little BMs.
Yeah. Okay. Why do you know why when they're in the coma it's like the Matrix?
I don't know. There's like they kind of hinted at it a little bit in the other movies. It's more explicit in this one. Where I mean, you mentioned midichlorians, but it is kind of like the Force, where they can like sense things and they can sense each other and they can sense the past. And I think it also has something to do with the drugs and being in what is essentially a sensory deprivation chamber.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because Duncan goes into the coma and he sees Connor. And I was like, oh, does that mean Connor's in a coma somewhere as well? But he's not.
No, he just like relives his first memory of becoming an immortal.
Oh, right. That's what's
Connor,
going on.
Yeah, Connor's finds him on the battlefield.
Him.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That was, yeah. Because I was also like, why doesn't he recognize Connor in this vision? I didn't think like, oh, because it's the first time they met.
Yeah, bro.
Like for a while, because he's just some white guy. I was like, wait, am I watching two characters and don't realize it? I really feel like I should have watched the TV show.
Well, after watching this movie, I was like, do I need to watch the TV show?
Yeah. The fucking biker gang, I want to know more about them and their crazy outfits. That one guy who's like Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, his CB written on the back of his head.
Yeah. There's always one. There's always one who's like, I'm the Clockwork Orange guy.
Yeah. There's always one totally out of control dickhead in the gang.
It was a solid gang.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was a solid gang. Good makeup.
Mm-hmm. The villain asks, and it is a regular theme of the movie, don't you want to be inside me?
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense, and they keep saying it, and I was like, stop saying that.
Stop saying it. It's weird.
Yeah, it's real weird.
I mean,
because I think the idea is he cuts off their head and then he gets their soul.
Right, but that's not like you would say, don't you want me inside you? It's still creepy, but like at least that transaction makes sense.
Right. No, yeah, because the villain is implying that Lambert wants to be killed inside of him.
No, he's trying to goad him.
Right. And yeah, that's what I mean, is to properly goad someone, it's to, don't you want to kill me and want me inside of you? Either way, it's disturbing. It's weird.
Right, so what I'm saying is what he says is wrong. It's the wrong transaction.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying that he's trying to goad him and says, don't you want to be inside me? Which means, don't you want to get killed by me? Which doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it sure doesn't.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's a huge mess.
They keep going inside of each other then. Like, now I can only think of it that way.
Mm-hmm. Just fingering each other.
Yeah, yeah, no, totally.
Just fucking fingering each other till the world ends. Mm-hmm. Thousands of years.
They just want to get inside of each other. Mm-hmm. We learn that immortality is triggered by the shock of a violent death in this. Mm-hmm. That's new, right?
Yeah, and I believe that is also from the TV show.
Okay. I like, because the B plot is that Faith, they realize she's an immortal, but she doesn't know. Mm-hmm. So Duncan decides to stab her in her sleep.
Yep.
Why don't people communicate better?
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Connor does the same thing.
Yeah.
He's just like, fight me. And it's like, no.
Was one of the more interesting conflicts that has yet been presented in a Highlander film.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's like he marries her, and it's like, well, you could make her immortal by killing her, or you cannot, and she'll just get old and die.
Yeah. Just ask her, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, the idea is that, like, well, you can't ask somebody a question like that because they'll just think you're a lunatic.
Yeah, so you just stab them in their sleep.
So you just stab them in the heart while they're asleep.
At that point, I was like, everybody's fucking immortal, aren't they? And then at the wedding, or after Lambert approaches Duncan, and he's just like, do you know she's immortal? And he's like, yeah, I know. It was just like, Jesus Christ.
Well, we already...
Like, yeah, I could tell. It was just so funny how casually people were just like, yeah, that's an immortal. That person, yeah, he's an immortal.
Mm-hmm. I can smell him.
Yeah.
Can smell those immortals.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have appreciated that actually stretched out.
Yeah, that would, like giving us a little bit more to, because he just sort of suddenly makes that decision after pretty resoundly refusing to do so when it's clearly what Connor is suggesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have a question about the villain dinner, the Last Supper, where they're eating in a warehouse / music video set. Right,
like slash modern art gallery.
Yeah. Who do you think cooked?
They probably had it. Catered.
You think so?
I think so.
So are there caterers there?
No, you can have something catered where they just drop it off.
Oh, that's true. They still had to set up all the...
Oh, yeah. No, they had to set up a table and stuff. They probably all helped.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, are they all living together?
I assume so, yeah. They're a posse. They're an immortal posse.
That's adorable.
They're an immortal posse motorcycle gang.
You never think about it, but they're all roommates, too. Like, they're all... They probably watch movies together and, like...
They spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Centuries, even.
Centuries? They must be so sick of each other.
Yeah, I would be.
Yeah, you'd think they'd get their own places.
Especially if I was Donnie Yen, I'd be like, these fucking jokers are not on my level.
Yeah, it's hard to watch Donnie Yen in any movie like this where it's like, just waste them. We talked about this with the
right.
With the Lethal Weapon one, where it's like, Jet Li, come on, man.
Yeah, Jet Li, just fucking beat these guys to death. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's suspension of disbelief, but it's always harder with, Yeah, with
guys like Donnie Yen and fucking Jet Li and all that shit.
Yeah. That face morph. Did you have the face morph in yours?
Oof.
That was something.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
That face morph.
Connor goes inside of Duncan, and then later when he's fighting Bruce Payne, Connor comes out by, like, face morphing. And if I were Bruce Payne, I'd be like, what the fuck was that? Because it did not look great.
It looked hideous.
Yeah.
It was so fucking weird.
It's so weird.
And it looked so bad.
It did not. Yeah, it looked very bad.
Oh my gosh!
When Mufasa's at him out of the clouds, it looks way better.
Mm-hmm.
I love. I don't know if it's the actor. Whenever Duncan gets quickeninged, he looks hilarious.
He does look pretty funny.
He makes this real. He looks like he's really scared. Like like it must happen to him a lot, and it's like I hate it every time. Like he looks like that.
I hate this shit. I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like how people you hate vomiting, where it's like it happens in your life, but you never like it.
Yeah,
it's that he's just like
Yeah, he's super not into it.
No, he's not.
He does not like
Must
that.
Feel real weird.
Does not like that quickening shit.
No. My final question is about the scene you didn't watch, because like I've revealed, Kate comes back at the end.
Mm-hmm.
They never explain how. She says something on the lines of Jacob has made his choices or something, implying that Jacob just faked her out by pretending to chop off her head.
Mm-hmm.
But when he does it, you see the shot, her necklace falls.
Yes.
So that doesn't make any sense. I know you didn't watch it, but there's no... Or not... Jacob Kell, that's his name.
Yeah, that's Bruce Payne.
Yeah, it that doesn't make no sense. I don't know. Like I was happy to see her back, but they never explain why she comes back. She's just back.
I don't know. I don't know. No, nothing makes sense.
No, nothing makes sense
unless he somehow knew that Connor was already dead, and that, or that Connor was going to die, and then he could do the same thing to Duncan that he was planning on doing to Connor, where he can just torment him by fucking with the people that he cares about for all of eternity.
I liked his plan. It's very convenient because he shows up at that graveyard and he's like, I'm going to kill you someday. Okay, bye. And it was like, okay, never mind. I guess you know.
Well, the way he delivered it was, it worked. It worked. Yeah, I bought it. Like I was in it at the time because he's like, come out here and fight me. Come out here and fight me. And he fights him and he fucking beats the tar out of him. And he's just like, and I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to wait until we're the only two people left on Earth. And then you're going to think back to today and remember that this was the moment that you could have killed me and decided not to.
Right. He could have killed Duncan still, but...
Duncan was standing in the graveyard, yeah. But yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked when he puts the sword to his head and he's talking to him and then he turns around real quick and like cuts his own throat by doing it, but not like deeply. That was solid. It's some solid Bruce Payne in this.
He's Bruce Payning all over the place. You kidding me?
Yeah, he really is.
That's what you get. That's when you pay for a Bruce Payne. That's what you're paying for.
You get all the pain.
You get all the pain.
A world of pain.
Mm-hmm.
That's all my questions for this section.
I think that's a sensible amount of questions for Highlander.
Yeah. Again, it was a little batshit, but it was. I don't know. I was with it the whole time.
Yeah, I was like surprisingly into the story.
Yeah. All right, let's get into Highlander, our final section.
Highlander.
This was directed by Douglas. Oh man, Arnioski. Arnioskowski. Man, sorry, everyone.
Sorry,
Douglas.
Sorry, Doug.
He directed Nurse 3D. Bunch of TV, including an episode of Star Trek Picard that'll be coming out.
Oh, all right.
He's also the first AD on From Dusk Till Dawn and Spy Kids. So I think that's where, Miramax picked him up. It was written by there's 4 story by credits, but the screenplay was Joel Soyson. God damn it, Dave. He did Dracula 2000 and Hollow Man 2.
Oh boy.
One of the story by credits, Eric Burnt, also wrote Virtuosity and Romeo Must Die.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Here's the crazy shit.
Okay.
The cinematographer, Douglas Milsom. He is known for doing the cinematography on Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Lonesome Dove,
okay,
Full Metal Jacket,
okay,
and Dungeons and Dragons.
My word.
Yeah.
That's quite a range.
A bunch else too. A lot else along, but those were the standouts for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's a hell of a range on this guy.
Man, what a resume.
Yep. Budget was I found conflicting reports. According to Empire, budget was 14 millions.
14 millions?
Yeah, and they said total revenue was around 50 million. According to Box Office Mojo, which isn't always accurate, they said the budget was 25 million and the box office was 15 million. But from what I could tell, I think Empire is counting home video sales and stuff.
Yeah.
I can believe that this was a success.
I think I remember reading that it was specifically because it was tapping into the series, which was pretty popular. That's where the Highlander. Well, I think we've mentioned it earlier in the series, but that's the show is why this franchise still exists. That's the thing that fans really like. Yeah,
that kept it going, which explains why. Duncan's in this. Still, they had problems in productions, disagreements over the script. Bruce Payne got sick while they were filming.
Oh, Bruce Payne.
Yeah, they filmed in their production was in Romania, and they had to halt it and move to London. Adrian Paul, who is, I believe, Duncan, injured his shoulder. There were delays in London, and the movie was finished in Luxembourg.
Jesus Christ, okay.
Yep, post-production got, as we said, there's 6 editors. The principal editor, who was he was the effects editor on the original film, he got replaced, and then the director produced a rough cut, but then that got redone, and they put 5 new editors on it, and according to the effects editor, Chris Blunden, they put 5 editors on and made it virtually incomprehensible. Yeah, so then later fan pressure had them release the producer's cut, and as well as there's a work print that's out. Have you watched the trailer of this?
No.
In the trailer, and I watched it to confirm, there are shots of Kel using magic abilities. He stops a sword in midair. He uses a force field. And at one point, Connor, I think, cuts him in half, and he turns into 2 versions of himself and keeps fighting. The interesting thing is none of this footage was in the original film, and the producers have since said that none of it was ever going to be in the film. There's no the online version of the screenplay. There's no magical abilities for Kel, and the rumor is they shot it for the trailer.
Yeah. I mean,
so that's weird.
That is weird, especially considering they introduced the idea of sorcerers in this universe in the last movie. Yeah,
I guess I don't know. That just seems mean because they're effect shots.
Yeah.
It's like they were doing tests or something. They're like, yeah, we can do this cool stuff. And they're like, okay, none of that's in the movie. Let's stick it in the trailer.
Yeah, but it could be.
Yep.
You like this shit, nerds?
Yeah. Into why Donnie Yen got this role.
Okay.
Well, a certain someone from Miramax saw Iron Monkey. That certain someone is, of course, Harvey Weinstein.
Sure.
Yeah. They basically took him in and they gave him I think it was like a 3-picture deal. And the idea is they wanted an action. This is according to interviews with Donnie Yen. They wanted a Miramax action guy. And they told him they wanted to do a Highlander and 2 other films. So Highlander was kind of like a test role.
Yeah.
He's also the martial arts choreographer on the film.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. He did all his own stunts, which also makes sense. He said they worked pretty good. It was funny because he's like, it wasn't that difficult. After all, if you walk out of a Hong Kong film industry, it's like walking out of a Shaolin temple. So basically being like, yeah, shooting an American action film, whatever. He thought it was more professional, I guess. There was more planning. Mm-hmm. Wait, sorry. Oh yeah. They this is the part that I was thinking of earlier. Apparently they didn't have a role for him when they cast him. So they teamed him up with the screenwriter and they made up a character themselves.
Okay.
Which makes sense why it, like, that cut stuff, like you were talking about how he has a arc, because apparently that was all Donnie Yen. He was like, this guy wouldn't fucking like Bruce Payne. You know? Like, he would stand up to him. So his turn was basically, there was a much more shot with his turn that Donnie Yen wanted, and then they eventually had to cut it out. And that was, yeah. He was supposed to plan to assassinate Kel.
Oh.
Yeah, he wanted to kill Kel himself. Like, that was his plan. And the producers were like, we can't do that.
No, you can't kill the bad guy.
Yeah, and in the end he was like, okay, I get it. Like, I think I should be the hero and kill the bad guy. Like, of course you do, but we're good. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got from behind the scenes. There's not much because that's Highlander 4.
It's all pretty juicy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're never going to top the heights of Highlander 2, The Quickening.
No. I don't know. Highlander 2 still might be my favorite Highlander film. Because, well, okay, not my favorite Highlander sequel. Because it's so batshit.
It sure is.
That it's the one I recommend the most. Although this one is, they might be neck and neck, actually. I don't know.
This one was pretty all right.
Yeah, what would you say? Is this your favorite out of the sequels?
The sequel's 100%, yeah. Easily.
It is definitely the best sequel in terms of quality. In terms of entertainment.
Yeah. In terms of story, characters, and,
action.
Yeah. It's a bit of a technical mess. But
yeah. But when Lambert goes, when they kill Connor McLeod, I got sad.
Yeah.
That was hardcore. I didn't expect that.
They made that shit count.
Yeah. He's passing on the torch.
Yeah, man.
To a new Highlander. That'll be interesting for the next one.
Yeah, I have no idea what to expect. I didn't even know this next one existed, so.
Yeah. What's the next one called? Do you know?
I don't remember. Let
me look it up. Highlander 5. This is a good podcast. The Source. It's Duncan MacLeod and just fighting another guy.
Sure. Why not? Fight another guy.
Ooh. You know what the Source refers to? The source of their power.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's about a quest for where the Highlanders come from. That's great. I'm fucking pumped for that.
Sure, I'll be into that.
Yeah. Shit. All right. Any more Highlander thoughts?
No, I don't have any more Highlander thoughts.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. This was unexpected. The quality of this film.
Truly, yeah. This took me by surprise, and I had no concept of what the series was like. I didn't know what to expect from Duncan, and he turned out to be delightful. Is not necessarily what I expected.
Yeah, after Highlander 3, I thought, oh no, this is going to get more and more boring, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because I found Highlander 3 very boring.
Yeah, it's mostly boring.
I'm sick of the flashbacks, even in this one.
I liked the flashbacks in this one.
Yeah, I mean, they're good, but I'm just sick of... I don't think they need to go in that direction anymore. I don't think we need more... I mean, we probably won't. I don't know. We'll see.
Unless you tell an entire story in the past.
Yes.
Like I expect that probably happens in the show a lot. Like they'll do like entire episodes that are just at some point in the past.
Right.
But they do a story back then.
Yeah, but so far they keep following the same formula, which is flashback establishing villain. Like, oh yeah, and there was this guy the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then they go back and then it's like, oh, here I am. And it's like, yeah, I know. Of course it's you, the guy from the flashback. Why else would the flashback exist?
Yeah.
So they've been kind of running on that formula for every film. So I'd like to see them change it up for this next one. But I mean, who knows?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't even know if they need, because it's the same conflict every time, is I want to be the only one. Mm-hmm. I'd love for the next one to not have a villain. It probably will, but like, you know what I mean?
I'm sure it will, yeah.
More of like, if they're searching for the source, like the villains, or like the villains could be like the Watchers in this. Mm-hmm. You know, like the villains don't have to be other immortals or just like one terrible guy. I think there's a lot of room for this series to expand that maybe it already has in the TV show.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. I got nothing. I'm ready to watch this next one.
All right. Let's go do that. Guys, thanks for listening to us.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Lander.
Thanks, Lander. And a special thanks, Lander, to James Rainey.
Rainey.
Who made it happen. Thank you for making us watch all the Highlanders.
It's been a rocky ride, but I'm liking where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. Hasn't been terrible.
Yeah.
If you're interested, this was through our Patreon, and you can check that out at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We have exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. Mm-hmm. We have a bunch of tiers from everything from producing and making us watch episodes of We Just Watched.
Yep.
Making us watch movies for episodes of We Just Watched, to producing your very own podcast. There's a lot going on there. Check it out.
Yeah, so much, man. And if you have an inkling to see even more, we have a store, tpublic.com/stores/gamefullyunemployed, where you can go there and check out. We got like t-shirts and stickers and mugs, posters and shit. Just fucking whatever. Just cram your face into that.
Cram your fucking face with that.
See what the hell happens.
You perverts. Put us. What is it? Get us inside of you. What is?
Don't you want to be inside? Don't you want me in? No, wait.
Don't you want us inside?
No, don't you want to be inside me?
Don't you want to be inside us?
Inside our store? Inside us?
Sexually?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If of fingerly? Don't you want
fingerly?
A few digits to be in there?
Oh,
don't you want to get some? Don't you want to get some knuckles in us? Oh man, we should probably cut this off.
All right.
Before it gets
Bye,
worse.
everybody.
Bye, Lander.